Okay. You're live?
Hey, mbona laptop yetu iko nyuma?
Karibuni sana.
Yes. A very warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today. I can see very many people on who are live with us on YouTube and on Facebook. Of course, we're live on all our social media handles at TSAVO.ke. Welcome to the F.I.R.E Council. We really do appreciate having you here. I think just, sacrificing your few hours of rest
on a Sunday.
I think Sunday is usually, a day to just relax and spend time with your children. Or unfortunately, if you've gone deep into consumerism, worry about the money you've spent, but we are very lucky.
Unaangalianga bank account
unaangalianga bank account.
Lakini that's the reason we are here today.
Yeah, that's the reason we're here, and we're very glad also Jaden has helped us. Uhuru amefunga country, so hakuna penye pesa inaenda sahi. So thank you so much for being with us here today. Welcome to the F.I.R.E Council. For those who are new here, we bring like-minded people together who, guys who are headed towards financial independence, to just have a dialogue and discuss, and accelerate our own financial independence journey. I am your host of today, Martha Inyo, and this is my co-host,
Sam Chalo.
Yes,
karibuni sana.
But, thank you so much for every comment that is coming in.
I can see we are quite a lot of people. So we can start with the prayer and then we can go into the comments.
So we'll be able to respond to every person who has reached out. Feel free to share your comments. Feel free to engage with us on all our social media handles at TSAVO.ke. Without further ado, let's start with a word of prayer. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we want to thank you. We want to give you all the glory and honor for enabling us to see yet another beautiful day, oh Lord. You have said to us, oh my Father, you've brought us to people who are like-minded. You have given us a great purpose to achieve financial independence, oh my Father. And all wealth comes from you, oh Lord. And we dedicate this day to you, oh my Father. We dedicate this session to you, oh Lord, that we may be able to learn, that we may be able to, learn from each other, make our ways better towards financial independence, and when all is said and done, oh my Father, we give you all the glory and honor. It is in the mighty name of Jesus Christ that we do pray, trusting and believing.
Amen. Wacha nikaribisha watu. I can see people are on fire. Mume turn up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing up. I can just mention
so many comments.
The number of people who are here. I can see Archie, Viola, Natalie. There's Timothy Tanui. There's Ongaga Brian. There's Anjuguna, Ian Maru, Andrew Waititu, Sam K, Mr. Life is an investor.
Our investors, nawasikiza vizuri sana. Na tunawapenda kabisa.
And there's Zaberio Mwika. Welcome so much. And we are glad to see you, all of you here on the stream.
I think I can just read a few comments. Sorry, let me just push it closer. I can see Mansa Dawood Mbira, I hope I've said it right. It's nice to see what you are doing out there, and brings hope to so many people, and in an amazing way. Thank you so much. And please remember, we are doing this together. I think it's not on us, it's on everyone who's on the F.I.R.E tribe. I can see Archie, happy to be here, looking forward to learning a lot as always. Thank you so much, Archie. We want to learn from you
as well.
I think
hatujakuja kufunza, tumekuja kufunzana.
Yes, I can see she's also said video quality on point, looking fab, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I can see Viola Natalie tuned in from the 254. Thank you so much. Timothy Tanui, Moto Sana. I can see Onganga. Hey. Let me just say Brian is on fire. Anjuguna is one of our investors. Karibu Sana. Hi guys, looking good over there. Ian Maru. All of these on fire. Andrew Isitu is also our investor. He's on fire. I can see Sam tuned. Karibu sana Sam. I can see Mr. Life. Mr. Life,
karibu sana.
Karibu sana, and I hope your referral is here.
Umeleta mtu.
I can see Mwika, great minds there watching. Thank you so much, Mwika. I can see Isaac Kilemi, he's on fire. Abed Musau is on fire. Amot Amanda is on fire. Hey, let's go wengi sana.
We can even give them a clap for today. I love the turnout. I love the turnout today.
And just considering that very many people were very comfortable with having this on Sunday evening, I believe we've been able to create just an, a more conducive platform and time, a more convenient time for everyone who's watching. Thank you so much. We hope that you've been able to, invite someone today. I think, if you really wanted Sunday, it's because you know someone who can come.
Yes.
So keep them coming.
I hope may invite you.
Yes.
And we have great news for today.
Yes. So today we are celebrating 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
We are at 1,000.
Finally, of course, F.I.R.E Council is highly generated by TSAVO. So our YouTube channel, TSAVO.ke, we've just finally reached 1,000
subscribers.
And we really hope this great purpose is spreading as to many people as possible. For all those who subscribed, I really hope that you're getting, this is impactful to you. I hope you can share what more you would like to see from TSAVO. But today, this is just the F.I.R.E Council. Council time. But thank you so much. I think just being able to have so many people trusting us is not, we can't take that for granted. I think, And thank you.
Thank you. Kama uko hapa na uja subscribe yet. If you're here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Let's just wait for them to subscribe.
Yes.
Please subscribe.
We can give you time.
We are just waiting.
At TSAVO.ke. You can subscribe, you can press the notification button.
Hapo tu kando. Done. Ama bado. A couple of more seconds.
A couple of more seconds.
But anyway, I think talking about subscribers and how big this movement of ours is growing, have you invited somebody?
Yes.
Yeah? If you have, ask them to comment down and say, so and so has invited me. Yeah. Or if you've been invited, just comment down who has invited you. We want to big up those guys, and that is how we make this thing grow. So the more we are, the more we learn. Yes. So I think we can get into the main thing.
Yes. I can see still comments coming in. Please feel free to just share your comments, share your feedback. Let us know who you've invited. We'll be able to read the comments over time. But we are live on all our social media handles at TSAVO.ke on YouTube and on Facebook.
And on Facebook as well. Let me see on Facebook if there's somebody here. There's Sally Kim. Karibu sana.
Tuned in. Karibu sana, Sally.
Yes. Awesome. So I think I can start with the recap of
what we did last week.
Of what we did. This is the third session.
This
is the third session. And in Natangu, that time we've done a lot of changes. We are now on a Sunday, weekend, evening. But I'm glad to see quite a big turnout and from where we started, we were defining the council as a group that comes together to debate, dialogue, and guided by a purpose, And then the debate and dialogue has to be in search of understanding, not from the egoistic need to
like kukanyagia
to win a point ama sijui nini. So as we debate and dialogue here, the main purpose for this council is to accelerate our journey to financial independence, right? So we need to accelerate our individual journeys to financial independence. And from last week's conversation, we were looking at the mechanisms that will help us accelerate our journeys to financial independence. And one of the key things that came out was
investing in yourself.
And now this is through resources. These are books,
people,
YouTube channels, influencers, and from last week's conversation, I think one of the things that was really suggested, there were a couple of books. There was Rich Dad Poor Dad. There was The Richest Man from Babylon by Last Uka. I think Last, if you're here, we can Karibu Sana. Which other book was recommended?
I think there was another book that was recommended. We'll be able to see, but I think even for the guys who were not here last week, we have a WhatsApp group that is open for everyone who is in the F.I.R.E tribe. It was for the first 250 people. So we usually share this. The books were shared on the WhatsApp group. So of course, even if you have a pending book that you didn't share and you really wanted to share with us, we'll be able to share the WhatsApp link and then you can join. Feel free to join, of course, and then you can share all the materials. And for everything that was shared last week, as long as we have very many people who are joining today, we'll be able to resend every material.
We'll be moving to Telegram as well, so that to ensure the history of the conversation going on in the group is still maintained. So we will also share the Telegram. I think Telegram will be the best channel so that as we start on the conversation, whoever joins in later and apart of the resources that that we will have shared prior. So I think with that, there were books that were shared, and what else? We came to a place where now we started talking about habits, with the 3 stages to financial independence, which
we had started with mindset, and then now
then now we were at habit, because for you to get to financial independence, I think there are 3 stages to it. The first step is first changing your mindset. First, knowing that you need to start spending less than you earn, just acknowledging. And the mindset change is one big shift that is quite hard for very many people. It's not a very easy thing, and the main thing that you're trying to achieve with FIRE is to first change those people's mindset.
So from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset.
So so after the mindset shift is the habit, changing the habit. So the question was, because the purpose of this council is to enable every member accelerate their journey to financial independence. So the question we are going to be asking. So Sasa, get your keyboards ready. Let's start typing here. We mentioned resources to change the mindset bit of it. I'll talk about habits today as we come to karibia tu kumusho. I'll talk about habits today and how you can start good habits and break bad habits. So before we get into that, I think you can remind what did you enjoy about last sessions, or what did you learn from the previous session? So I can see quite a number of people are here. Marceline Kemunto amekaribishwa na Brian. You can read the comments.
I can read the comments from here. Thank you so much. Marceline, karibu sana. Brian, thank you for being a FIRE an actual FIRE.
An evangelist.
I can see Evans Okumu, he's on FIRE. Karibu sana, Evans. I can see Isaac, you look lovely at Sam and Martha. Thank you so much, Isaac.
Thank you.
Was away, but nimefika sahi and now tuned in. Karibu sana. Please let us know what did you learn last time, and maybe what do you think we needed to add. I think beyond books we talked of being around like-minded people. So actually being here, just enables you to shift your mindset and being around people who've actually achieved financial independence. Because the journey of towards financial independence is not easy. It requires a lot of sacrifice, and with that it requires a lot of encouragement, or just someone to pat you behind you. And it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a testimony from someone else, someone who's achieved financial independence. Please keep sharing. I can see Ashley is saying I was invited by Ann Taro. Karibu sana, Ashley.
Thank
you so much for being an evangelist. Karibu sana. Of course, Evans and Mr. Life, tell us, what did you learn? Isaac, I think I would know who was here last time. I can see Timothy. Timothy, welcomed by Kate. We are fired up. Karibu sana, Timothy.
Karibu sana, Timothy.
Yes. I can also see on this is Facebook. I can see Ian Maru, great team. He's on fire. Karibu sana. Ian, I think the last time we spoke, you said you had someone who was interested to be part of this council. Ako wapi? Mwambia slide into the DM tumuone sahi.
Yes. But thank you so much. So the discussion, let's start it off, and then the biggest question will be, with the three levels to financial independence, how do we accelerate each other's journey on all those levels? Mimi nitawafunza about habits today. They have something prepared about habits and how to start and how to stop them. But looking at the first layer, which is mindset, the first level, you need first to change your mindset from consumer to investor. So probably you can describe that, and as she describes, I'd like some of us who are here, if you've changed your mindset already, if you already acknowledge that investment is the way to go, how did that happen? Kuna watu wanajua I just need to get rich, na hiyo pesa tutumie tu.
I think when we are talking about mindset, we can look at it from a very big picture. If you're privileged enough to go to school, go through if say for example you're using the 844 system, it looks very, very lovely, because you go to school, you're taught how to be to work hard, you're taught how to work smart, you're given exams that actually ensure whatever you're working can be applied, but that's where it ends. Yeah, so you're taught how to make the money, but you're not taught how to spend it. Yeah, which is a very big loophole even in our society. And unfortunately, when you look at, you know, just the Kenyan society, even how we were raised by our own parents, finance is a very difficult discussion. Very many people don't want to, you know, have money conversations. And when you know, things are thick, you know, people run away, and you know, you get reactions that are very negative, simply because the conversation behind money is, you know, tight. But that influences how we think of this, you know, this thing called money. And unfortunately, if you only know how to make it, then you can't know how to manage it. You'll find yourself with quite a lot of money, but yes, but you don't know what to do with it. And unfortunately, the society has painted a picture of what richness looks like, but not what generates that richness. So you think flashy cars, you think, you know, and even speaking to the young people, you know, very fast in, you know, making money and spending it, or being able to get a loan somewhere and spending it. But how do we now shift from spending to investing? Because you see, you need to be at a point where, yes, you've not made so much, but you know, you can make enough. The little you have, spend what is required, yani not wants, needs, not what you see, what you need to have, and either save or start investing. And I think being able to just transform your mindset to, you know, I am content with what I can actually spend on a monthly basis. If you're earning 50, you can spend 20 and save 30. You are honestly content with 20. And you know, gaining a habit of saving or starting to invest. And I think being able to just, you know, move your mind from buy to invest. I think is not easy, and I wouldn't want you to feel that, you know, you're under pressure because you're facing consumerism problems. It's a process. It takes time, but how do you fine tune yourself or give yourself, you know, train yourself to know that this is not necessary, I need to secure my future, I need to do this, you know, and getting to a point where, you know, today I saved 1,000, tomorrow I saved 2,000, and the next day I was meant to spend 500, instead I spent 200. You know, it's just the small little habits that we can shift.
And a question I'd like to pose to you guys for us to be able to engage and also see the people that we have and where we are at with the council that is here today. Probably, do you spend less than you make? Do you spend less than you earn? And if you actually do spend less than you earn, extra, where does that extra go? So please start in telling us so that we can see who we are with here today. Do you have people who have already an investor mindset? Or do we have people who haven't gotten to that place yet? So do you spend less than you make? That's a yes or no answer. And where does the rest of that money go to?
And if you're an investor, please let us know, because as I said, we are learning from each other, and I can call you out because I know you're an investor here. So probably you're an investor elsewhere as well. Please give us advice. What triggers that? You know, what makes you think, okay, I need to invest first? You know, because you have all the reasons to not invest. So what triggers that? I can see comments coming in. Sorry, Yani, the laptop is very far. I can see Isaac. Oh, sorry. Evans Okomo, Richest Man in Babylon, suggested that last week. Thank you so much, Evans. The book was shared on WhatsApp. We'll also share the link here. I can see Ashley. I was invited by Ann Taro. I think I had already read that. I can see Crystal Imani, Karibu Sana, invited by Amo. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can see Evans Okomo, Wisdom, learn how to spend. Thank you so much, Evans. Mr. Life, spending to invest. Investing. So shifting your mindset from you know, consumerism, spending mindset to an investment mindset. I can see Isaac, as a young married man, it was not easy to shift my spouse from spouse's mindset, and which is very true.
How did you
manage how did you manage that?
I'd like to know. I'd like to know, because probably somebody else is there struggling how they will convince their partner on let's invest, or let's spend less than we make, and actually prepare for the future. And talking about now spending less than you make, I think speaking about myself, for me, for me it was about for me to be able to spend less than I make, I had to have a why.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to have a why. I had to have a guiding principle to help me actualize that habit, that to spend less than I make. So for me it was more about securing the future, yeah, and then getting to a place where the thing we call independence or freedom, it's actually true. So for me, the way I will define it, I wanted to buy time. I want to buy time in my 40s. Yeah,
Yes.
I want to buy time in my 40s. By the time I am 40 years old, I'd like to be able to not work for money anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't need to. I don't want to work for money by the time I am 40.
Yes.
By the time I am 40, I need to be working for a bigger purpose rather
Yes.
than just the basic needs for the family that I'll be having by then.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, that is my guiding principle. Yeah. Time is what I am buying then. So right now I am putting in my time, I get money. The money I am putting in so that it can give me time. So
Yes.
that is my equation for
Yes.
me. So put in time, you get money. That money that you get, don't spend all of it. Put it somewhere so that it can buy you time later on
Yes.
in the future.
Yes.
So yeah, that has been my why. And then I cannot see people saying, "Tafadhali tuambieni, do
Tuambieni,
you
how-
spend less than you
yes.
make?"
Yeah, I think even as people share, and please just let us know, yeah, because you see, you were able to define a why. I think for me was from a past experience, yeah. So when I lost my parents, I just felt okay. So I was the only child, so that's very tricky. Oh yes, if you've never experienced, it's very hard. Because if you're the only child, you are actually the only person left. And so and I just felt like, okay, if my family was not stable enough, I couldn't even have the privilege to actually go back to school. And it's as simple as literally going back to high school, because that time I was still in Form 1. And so, you know, okay, yeah, life goes on. When someone dies, honestly, life moves on. So what happens after that? And you know, it just gave me a reason to have a focus and just to understand what is this that I'm working for and what would my future look like, yeah? And I kept thinking, if I die today and my child is alive, say for example I have a child, and if I die today, what would happen to them? I think for me, investing, like being in a position where, you know, I had people who invested in my education was a privilege, but it's not a privilege that would happen to everyone. And I think my greatest why would be, in future, I would want my child to actually have, you know, very good education. Being at a point where, you know, you're exposed to the right people, you're in the right environment, you're in the right school that can actually mold you into, you know, something, you know, something that is great in society. And you know, as I think of it that way, then I'm thinking, you know, I need to secure my future. I need to be at a point where I don't feel like I am the only person that my future can rely on. You know, I need to. So, yeah, let us know. What is that? Do you actually spend more than you know? Less, or do you spend less than you earn? Or more than you earn?
We need to know who we are with today so that we can be able to go on with the conversation.
Yes.
Anne Juguna had commented, message retracted that. Fadhali.
Rudisha. Isaac, we're also waiting for you. Please let us know how did you manage to shift your wife's mindset, or are you still in the process of shifting? Yeah.
So Timizi is here saying it's a process, a crazy journey. Beginning early is key. Oh, great.
Yes, which is very true.
Yeah, probably Timi, you can tell us, do you spend less than you make? Yeah, or do you spend more than you make? And if you do spend less than you make, where does the rest go? Where does the rest go? So for us to be able to go on with this conversation, I think let's see some answers for that question so that we can be able to see who do we have in this council today. So I do spend less than I make. Yeah,
I do spend less than I make.
Yeah. And where does the
rest go? I think, and unfortunately, when it comes to investments, there are very many factors that affect, you know, just your mindset, your action. There are very many factors. Number one, if you're exposed to the right things, So, unfortunately, okay, I was lucky enough to start early, of course, even being in TSAVO has really accelerated my journey towards financial independence. So, of course, my first thinking is I need to invest, and I invest in TSAVO. So, most of my money goes to TSAVO. And then, I live on whatever is left.
So first you invest and then...
I invest. I don't save. I invest. And then I save, then I spend. Of course, you need to have savings.
Okay, you can read a couple of comments which are here.
Yes, I can see 7.
Maru.
Let me say Maru. Thanks for the invite, Ian. Oh, Ian, thank you. I believe that's Ian Maru who's invited you. I can see Timmy saying spending exact amount I make.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Timmy.
That's
I think
good.
I think that's actually it's almost a norm. People actually spend what they make.
What they make.
Yes.
And just a question. Within the spending, hapo kwa spending, we might have contradicted the meaning. Is investment or saving part of it? Because spending means yote tu inaenda mahali ingine. You don't remain with anything. So do you mean that there isn't any investment or saving, or do you mean that there's some investment or saving?
And then there's spending.
Yeah.
I can see Mansa. Let me share this. Unless you hit bottom down, and the only other way is going up, or see yourself in 80s and happy, then you don't push the wall. So it means you either experience crashing. Yeah, I hope I've understood you well. You either experience crashing, or you want to see yourself get somewhere, not be dependent on your children or your family. I hope I've really understood
could you just
you well.
read it again so that
let me share this. Unless you hit bottom down, and the only other way is going up, or see yourself in 80 years and happy, then you don't push the wall.
So the motivating, talking about pushing the wall, the
motivating factor is either a bad experience,
being in a very bad circumstance where the only other way is up. Yani there are situations in which you can be, the only other place you can go is just up. Umefika tu bottom.
Yes.
So like that can be a motivating factor. And then the other one she's mentioning is
if you're seeing yourself past 80 and happy. Meaning after retirement you still see yourself not being dependent on your family. Thank you so much.
For you, what is it? Is it seeing yourself? Have you been in such a circumstance?
What is actually motivating you now?
Yes.
And actually, are you even on the journey towards financial independence? Do you spend less than you earn, or you can share with us?
What was the name?
Daud.
Yes. Okay.
Then I can see Isaac. My concern. Oh, sorry, Anne Juguna. I spend much less than I earn. Thank you so much, Anne. I buy money funds every month, and now low cost flats. I have learned to say no, because I realized if you give once, you'll always give and never get anything in return. That's very true.
I have learned to say no.
Let me repeat
it.
I spend much less than I earn.
Okay.
I buy money funds every month. Hey, your buy is very high. And now low cost flats. I have learned to say no, because I realized if you give once, you'll always give and never get anything in return.
Learned to say no. I think there's an episode that Ncharo did called "The Power of Saying No," and I think saying no is quite a hard thing.
It's a very hard thing,
and the way she's just saying, the more you give, you get less in return. And then just giving out to people, you think you're doing good and probably soothing yourself, but sometimes
in reality, it's not.
Brutal facts. You need to tell yourself some brutal facts and also meet what is actually on the ground, and just see that if I keep doing this, I would be able to get there.
And I think even being in a position to say no really shapes your environment. So if you're around people and they know how your habit is, your investment habit or your spending habit, it actually influences their thought process. It actually influences any action they would have towards you. So if you're known for splashing money, anyone around you will
come around you.
Be considerate. No one. The ideal situation would be people would be considerate. But if you're willing to splash around money, I think even the people around you know hapa tutapata tu. I can see Isaac, he's saying, my concern as a young parent, in fact, my firstborn is 11 years. I was able to reason with my wife on a long-term perspective that we invest for the long term.
So he used the kids to be able to look at the future together. I think that's...
Which is
great, because I think
great, yeah.
we are not parents yet, lakini great lesson to learn prior.
Yes. I can see Mr. Life saying saving like 10%, something I learned from richest man in Babylon through Evans. Thank you so much. And I think this is the beauty of, you know, just having this council and coming together. We will eventually learn from each other. I can see Isaac saying short-term reasoning is not sustainable. If you want to be financially independent as a young parent, invest long term. Real estate is a good way to invest long term. Great. That's a very so 10%. Woo, that's quite 10% is it's a lot.
It's a lot. And how are you able to do that? So for me, another question I'd like to ask now, those who are actually spending less than they make, there's Anne, there's Mr. Life, who else?
There's
I think Daud should be one of them as well. How were you in a place where you needed to change, or did you just start immediately? Were you in a place where you needed to change, to start spending less than you make, or for you from salary number one, you just started, or from your first profits you just started spending less than you make? So
maybe Sam, you can start with that answer, because you're spending less than you earn. What triggered that?
So for me, just like I'd mentioned, I found a purpose to start spending less than I make. Prior kitambo ilikuwaga tu, I just knew I wanted to be rich. I just defined it by material things, certain big house, gari kadhaa, the location. We had those things of writing them down and just actualizing, okay, the house is in this place, this type of car, but the how it wasn't clear for me. So for me, the why gave me purpose, and that is after joining TSAVO and actually hearing them Charo's story of how they were able to get there, and I was like, actually having a lot of it isn't the point. Having a pipeline is the point. Having a pipeline is the point. Having a pipeline is the point.
I think for me I was in a rat race. So I started working. I was still in campus when I joined TSAVO. So I was earning, you know, internship amounts. So I was earning a salary. I would live, pay rent, do, buy needs and wants and all that, and I survived. You survived through the month. By the time you're on the 20th, kidogo uitisha advance, and it kept, I was in such a bad fix because I couldn't change. I was just feeling, whatever I'm being paid is not enough, and in reality it was not how much I was being paid. It was what I was defining as a need and a want. And I think just being able to stay in TSAVO longer enabled me to leave that rat race. I can see Lilian Gima is also one of our investors. Karibu sana. Yes, I spend less than I make. I am currently investing 42% of my income with a target of getting to above 50%. What? 42%? Yes, 42% is almost quite, it's very close to 50.
Quite inspiring.
Yes. So her tips are low cost housing. Now from low cost housing she gets rent, and then keeping to a budget and paying myself first.
Okay.
So I think how do we achieve this? Having a why. Number 2, sticking to a budget. And by the way, 42% is very high. As in, it's still in my head.
It's quite high.
It's quite
42%.
high.
I think for me, currently I'm around 30. Still trying to push it higher. I'm trying to have like I have an Excel that I can probably share a template that when I put in the needs, wants, and desires, that's needs and wants. I think needs, wants, and then there's investments, stroke saving. So that's how I've divided that thing, and I might share I can share the template with you if you've joined the group. The link to the group has been sent. So join the Telegram group. I'll be able to share the template for that, so that you can be able to put in the different places that your money goes. 42%. I'm also quite shook by that as well. But it's quite a hard thing, because most of the things that go on is your lifestyle changes, your friends change, and the people you're with also they change quite a lot. So I think from the tips that you've shared, the why, having a why. So these are things that can help you accelerate your journey to financial independence
From
if
a
the mindset perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
So have a why.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a purpose that can get you to that place.
Yes.
Yeah. That can guide you to actually take those actions. Yeah. So for Daoud mentioned that circumstance can be a purpose. Yeah.
Yes.
And actually even just wanting to look further into the future. When I'll be 80 years, do I want to be happy and actually be free, and independent? There might be, so the purpose can be quite different things. But for me, I usually really pray that circumstance doesn't become my motivating factor. Let it be a choice, because most of the circumstances that come around usually aren't quite good.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
And then unfortunately, you can be saved by a windfall gain. And a windfall gain is very dangerous, because you might be going through a very hard time and then you get that windfall gain. But simply because it's a windfall gain, there is nothing to learn about it. Yani uliangukia tu.
Really happened too.
Really happened.
Never planned.
Yeah. So it's not a choice.
It's actually a risk.
It's actually a risk, because it's you didn't choose to have the money then. It's just that it happened, and then So I think being at a point where actually you gain that freedom of choice, you can choose to start your journey towards financial independence is very powerful.
Yeah, it's very, and it's actually the best place to start. Most of the people learn through experience, but I think pushing yourself to start usually is a very big milestone, because you'll find yourself starting other things that will get you very far than you currently even are. So please, you can share the things that have helped us go or take that step, change the mindset. So for some people it has been circumstance. For some people, it has been actually defining what they want the future to be like. And Lillian here mentioned that on the actualization bit, on the habits bit, was this low-cost housing, so reduce rent. If you know you see must-wish in a very big apartment, just
actually she's even corrected
calm
that.
Down.
She's trying to clarify that.
To clarify on the housing, it's keeping my own rent low. Rent is our biggest spend, so find a way to keep it as low as comfortably possible too.
Which is true.
So there are things you need, there are things you want. You need a roof over your head, but you don't
need to live in a 200k house.
Depending.
It's not a need, depending, but of course now that's a personal decision, but it's up to you to balance. Is this necessary, and can I save on X amount on this?
Even after when the pandemic hit, one of the key things that was the key message of how to spend less was actually just downsizing. It just moved down to a smaller house if it's comfortable for you. And I like the way she's mentioned comfortably possible. Keep it as low as comfortably possible. So if you're living in a house that it's just too much space, because another thing I can mention about having a big house usually is you feel the need to buy stuff. Because there's so much space, empty space. You want to think, okay, hapa
lazima nijaze,
tunaweza ka sijui fridge ingine kubwa, triple door, ama sijui how big. So the more space you have, the more you start, the ripple effect of that is you'll start having habits that
require
that make you spend more. Make you spend more. So even downsizing has a thing about that. And even looking at the apartments as SAVO as we build, we usually keep them quite small enough, and comfortable to ensure that your thought haikuji, because there is great thought behind the design as well. So I'm glad that you are also learning on this. So this circumstance can be an issue, but also a purpose, having a guiding principle that can go forward. I can read some few comments from a couple of people that I can see coming here. So there's Mr. Life. Mr. Life used to spend what I earn until there was a pay raise, maintain spending, and been saving the 10%. Ooh, nice. 10% is quite, and I'm glad that most of the council members here actually do spend less than they make. And that's quite a good space. And since we've already shifted that mindset, we can be we can now start focusing on the action-oriented things that can make us now.
So the
if it is 10%, how do you get it to 20? How do you get it to 30? Yeah, and eventually get to a place where you don't even need to work for the money anymore. Yeah, so that's Mr. Life. And then Daoud again mentions that I am on the journey to financial freedom. I want to retire at 40. I'm about 8 years plus to the retirement year. I hit bottom down, and that was the motivation behind, and also having a purpose to who you are. Wow. Okay. Wow. So circumstance pushed you there. And I think even when you're having friends around you and you'd like to push this message, at times they wouldn't want to listen. And then it usually gets very hurtful when it is circumstance forcing them when you try to push them. But I believe now sometimes after circumstance push, you usually see the need for actually taking those steps. But for Daoud, it was circumstance, and then the motivation behind also having a purpose to who you are. Because another thing about not being financially independent, you're not working for money anymore. What are you working for? Your purpose. What are you working for? So you can read the other few comments that are here. I can see Lillian. There's Isaac and then Antaro. Okay. So I can see Isaac. Isaac is saying, I agree with Lillian. Thank you so much, Isaac. Antaro, I spend less than I earn. I invest 70% of my income and save 10% savings, and expenses are 20%. My costs are all good, budgeted, and remain constant with increase in income. I pay myself first. Wow. Wow. So 80% of your income goes to saving and investing. And I think Anne was in some live stream Charo was doing, and I think she mentioned the same. And I think this is quite a mean feat to beat. I think Anne should be our guiding, our goal to look forward. You have 10%, you have 42, and now 80. So I think Anne, we have a lot to learn from you. Please. You are one of our staff members here now, because I think there's so much you can learn from how you are able to achieve that, and how you can teach us to be able to get there. Because some of us will like Mr. Life has mentioned, get that salary release. So do we spend it? How are you able to hack 80%? Even with an increment in salary. As in, I think that's even the most tricky bit, because every time you have an increment, with every extra 1,000 is a 1,000 problem. Well, not a problem, a want. So unasikia kiatu inaanza kukufinya, unnecessary things. But how I think it would be just nice to understand how do you achieve that. I can see Lillian saying, kudos Anne, you're doing super. Thank you so much, Lillian. I think where Anne is, there's a lot. I'm even overwhelmed with the questions to ask. But I think I hope you'll be joining the group so that we can learn from how you're able to achieve that as well. Yes. I can see Timmy, pay yourself first. Big up Anne. You're already our star. You're already our star. So I think even for everyone who's tuned in and just listening to the experiences and feedback, and the people are sharing, please feel encouraged, because I think just having people who have been able to achieve it is it actually proves that this thing is achievable. Actually being around people who have been able to do that. So let's take advantage of the council, because it will bring to us now Anne, Lillian, guys who have already started this, and it's actually achievable. I can see Anne Juguna, I grew up with very little, but I knew I wanted to get rich. I adopted the culture of not borrowing from people, but banks, circles if I have to, but I only use my salary. Those are things that now we can be able to so those are habits too. And speaking about habits, I said I had something to talk about habits. I can go straight into it, and then as we continue with the conversation, so that you can be able now to see how can this help us structure our habits into something that can actually help us accelerate our journey to financial independence. So probably I can start from defining what a habit actually is. So in just a very brief and layman definition, is habit is a routine or behavior that is performed regularly. It's all right. Regular, that one.
regularly.
And in many cases, it is automatic. I think you can see it on your screens. So a habit is a routine or behavior that is performed regularly.
Yeah.
Come on. And in many cases, automatically. And in many cases, automatically. So basically, that is what a habit is. And what I'd like to focus on is not deeply in what it is and all that,
yes,
but into how we can change it. Yeah, how we can change it. So one of the key things that you must first acknowledge before you want to change a habit is, are you ready to change who you really are? Because habits are actually make up our identity.
Yes.
So if you actually want to change a habit and become, say in this case of ours, move from consumerism to investment,
yes,
are you ready to stop spending that money you spend with your friends, yeah, and now become somebody else who's huyu hata aliacha kuja na sisi?
Or are you ready to stop buying cars every year?
Yes. Yeah,
and it's usually a very difficult, it's not an easy change.
It's not easy.
Because it tends to affect everything around you. Starting with your family, with your friends, and unfortunately, when you're thinking of, you know, mindset and habits, so that's from mindset to the action point, you actually even might lose very many people around you simply because of the choices you've made towards your lifestyle.
Since habits make up your identity, I think you first have to allow yourself to change. I am not sure the age group we have in this council today, but I think as you grow, one of the key things that you'll start noticing is you'll have to allow yourself to change.
Yes.
You have to allow yourself to change, and for the better, for the good. You'll lose friends, you will stop doing some things that you liked, yeah, but aren't in conjunction with your future.
Yes.
Yeah. So for you to change your habits, the key thing is first acknowledge that you'll have to change. Yeah.
Yes.
And being stuck to this is who I am, you can't be attached to a certain identity of yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
Mimi hukua hivi. Yeah, I am always
it's
like that cannot be an excuse. Yeah. You need to be able to change your habits. Yeah. Yes. So you need to be able to acknowledge that you need to change.
Yes.
So after acknowledging that, I can go deep down into the biological structure, into how habits are structured. Yeah. From you wanting to do it to you actually doing it. So
yes.
it is actually scientific, and every other habit that you have, looking at all other habits, and I'll give examples here that we have in our lives, go through this system. So we call it's called the habit loop. So the habit loop starts with the cue. Yeah, this is like the trigger, and then it moves to the craving.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the response, and then the reward. So there's the cue, craving, response, and then the reward. We will put it on your screens so that you can be able to see it. I think you can now see it. The cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. So the cue is basically the trigger. Yeah. So this is what triggers you to take the habits. For example, let me give a very good. You wake up in the morning. You want to feel alert.
Yes.
Yeah. So wanting to feel alert is the cue. Yeah. So and then you have a craving. Yeah. Yeah, you have a craving, and then for the craving, it's now the motivational factor or the desire to have something to achieve the reward.
Yes.
And then the response is the actual habit, is the actual doing, it's the action itself. And then finally you have the reward. This is the goal of every habit, basically. So the cue, with the cue you notice the reward. Yes. With the craving you want the reward, and then with the response you obtain the reward.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then the reward basically satisfies us. Yes. So with like probably some examples where we can be doing this is for the cue, you wake up in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the craving, you want to feel alert. Yeah. And then the response you drink coffee. You take coffee, and then you get the reward, which is
you are alert.
Yeah. So there are quite a couple of examples I think I can be able to share with you. I had written some of them down. Let me so that you can be able to bring this into context.
Even as you're looking, I think let's just a normal example. So you really want something, and say for example, you've been really looking towards this new phone that has just come out. I'm using an actual example, and that whatever you want is the latest iPhone. Period.
Just that.
Yeah, just that. And the craving is actually the phone itself.
Yes.
Yeah, and your action is maybe could be saving, could be waiting for that bonus.
Could be loaning,
getting a loan on it, and then so that's the action point, the routine. You go get a loan or you save towards it, and then the reward is the phone.
So just quite some examples of the cue, craving, response, and the reward. So a cue is your phone buzzes with the new text message.
Yes.
Yeah. So the craving, you want to learn the contents of that message. So you put a response, which is you grab your phone and read the text.
Yes.
And then you get your reward, which is you satisfy your craving to read the message.
Yes.
So grabbing your phone becomes associated with your phone buzzing.
Yes.
Yeah. So another example would be probably you're at work, you stumble, you hit a stumbling block on a project that you're working on. So that is a trigger. That is the cue. So you start craving to relieve that frustration. So you pull out your phone and check social media. So that becomes the response to that. So and then you satisfy the need to feel relieved or to relieve that frustration. And another very easy example will be you smell smokies while you're walking home, and then you crave to have a smoky, and you eat a smoky, and then you satisfy your craving to eat a smoky. So eating a smoky becomes associated with walking home.
Yes.
So kila time unajipata while you're walking home, you get that smoky, you get that smoky. So that is the basic habit loop that each and every habit that we have or we would want to change goes through. And actually, I can give a final example of one that now involves money. Is you see a shoe or clothes advert on Instagram, you crave to have one more shoe in your collection. Yeah, and now you buy the shoe, then you satisfy the craving for having one more shoe. So having one more shoe or one more T-shirt or a new phone gets associated with seeing ads on Instagram. So these ads become very controlling to you as well. So all those habits that you have go through those 4 key levels. So there's the trigger, which is the cue. There's the craving. Now you want, and then there's the solving it by response, and then there is the reward from getting the
what's the craving, the cue, the trigger.
So how do we start and stop or break bad habits when you have this in mind? You now know that every habit that I have goes through these 4 levels. So how do we stop? How do we stop or start new habits? So I can start with how do we start or create a new habit? So with the levels of doing it, the cue. You have to make the cue very obvious. You have to make the trigger very obvious. If you want to start saving, probably you would either ensure that the money never gets to you, or very automatic standing orders or such things. So make the cue very obvious, and the craving, make it very attractive, make it look very attractive. So whatever habit you want to start, and in this case financial habits, and response, make it easy to do that habit, make it actually easy to do that habit, and the reward, make it satisfying to do it. So if you want to start a new habit, or to create a new habit, ask yourself these questions. How can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? And how can I make it satisfying? So I think that can help you in structuring those key things, though, in creating a new habit. So just ask yourself those 4 questions. And now, how to break a habit? So if you want to break a bad habit, still on the 4 levels, for the cue, make it invisible. Yeah, if you don't want to grow fat, and smokies are the ones that make you fat,
don't go to smoky.
Don't use that route home. Just make it invisible. Make sure that that trigger isn't there around your life. Yeah,
yes.
and make it very unattractive, make it difficult, and make it unsatisfying. So breaking a habit, identify that habit. How do I make it invisible? How do I make the thing that triggers me to take that habit invisible? How do I make the thing that makes the craving very unattractive? How do I make the action very difficult? And how do I make the reward very unsatisfying?
Yes.
For an example of making it difficult, I think if you're a person who bets a lot, you can block those certain websites.
Those apps.
So that if you want to actually bet, you'll have to go and unblock. So that makes the process of betting difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's an example, and I hope that actually helps you create or break the habits that you want for yourself now going forward. So yeah, that's pretty much it on creating and breaking habits. So I hope there's something that you've gotten out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even when you're talking of habits, you might also want to look at the end goal. Yeah. So what do you want to be defined for? Or what do you want society to define you for? So say for example, just using Emily Mcharo and Leonard Mcharo's story, they're the founders of TSAVO, and so their story was based on a definition. How do they want to be in the future? Do they want to be dependent? Do they want to be, like, who do you want to be? Do you want to keep borrowing? And so sometimes you might actually think that you're not really going through these bad habits, but everything that you're doing, does it reflect who you really want? Does it reflect the reward that you actually want to achieve? Because sometimes you might think, for example, let me use a very bad example, black tax. Paying black tax. And I think it's very common in Kenya.
Yes.
Zoning it down to Kenya, it's very common that in Africa, when you're done with school and you've started working, now you start paying back home. And it's not from a bad place, it's just that it's routine. Unafaa tu kuwa unatumia wazazi pesa. Yeah, but how do you want to to be defined? Do you want to be sending money, or do you want to create a revenue stream for the people you're trying to support? Yeah.
What's that identity about yourself?
What is that identity that someone would think, when I speak to Andrew, Andrew 82, when I speak to Andrew, I speak to him from a point of, investment respect, simply because he's defined himself as a person who invests, because say for example, I was talking to Emily the other day, and Emily is very, she's a champion of good health, eating right and all that. And she kept saying she would really want, to eat something bad, but that's not what defines who she is. And it's not about what people will think or, how she will look at it. No, it's simply because she does not want to be defined that way. She does not want, her system to adopt to the bad food, for example. So I think as you're looking at the habits and the four Q, craving, routine and reward, you're also thinking, what is that, the end game? How do I want to be defined? Or what is that you're looking for, and can it now can you play it backwards? You're looking at financial independence. What does financial independence require? Play it backwards.
Yes. So I think you were able to learn something from that, and naona time ime move sana.
Yes.
So I can go through quite the comments that are here. So Andrew Itutu is also amazed by how Anne has been able to invest 70%. So he's saying, wow, 70% for investment is next level. And
yes.
We invest 25 to 30%. That's now Andrew Itutu. Lakini we aspire to catch up. Yeah, I think
yes.
we can be able, as the FIRE Council, we can be able to set milestones for each of us to be able to achieve according to our current
our
circumstances and situation.
Yes.
Yeah,
and of course, give yourself a reasonable timeline.
Yes.
Like if you are, let me say, if I'm at 5%, I won't get to 70% in a month. No. So define the time frame you're looking at, and where are you trying to, what are you trying to achieve?
Yes. So I think that is one of the things we can be able to set for as a goal, yeah, for the FIRE Council members, or that is something that you can be able to, if you don't know yet, calculate.
Yes.
Yeah, probably you know this is the amount, but what percentage, and are you targeting to increase that percentage or take it further? Isaac is saying, Sam, what you've just explained is like Ivan's Pablo experiment with the dog and food. Oh,
yes.
I don't know that experiment, but I'm pretty sure
we will share.
Yeah,
it's in philosophy.
Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure habits, just each and every habit follow the same
routine.
The same routine.
Yes.
So there's Linus Kowiti and Simeon Mwadilo following. Thank you sana, karibu sana.
I think I know Simeon. Simeon is watching us from Taita, if I'm not
wrong. You know him?
Yes, karibu sana. If I'm right, please take a 2 thumbs up.
You can probably give a recap of what we've said today. Then
so I 3 factors that sort of accelerate your journey towards financial independence. So mindset we covered it last session. The video is still up. So this week we were talking about habit, because it's mindset, then there's habit, then now financial independence. And so with habit, maybe I can just recap on the definition. Is it's a routine or behavior performed regularly and in many cases automatically. I think we can also share that on screen. So a habit is a routine or behavior performed regularly and in many cases automatically. And so what are the 4 steps of creating a habit? So there's the creating of there's starting a habit and breaking a habit. But what are those 4 steps of each habit? So there's cue which is trigger. There is craving which is what you want. There is routine which is the action itself, and then there's the reward, what are you targeting. And so we were talking about how do you start a habit and how do you break a habit. And when you're thinking of starting a habit, you're thinking of how can I make this cue very obvious. I want to achieve financial independence. So what is that obvious thing? I want to be rich, I don't want to be poor, or I don't want to be dependent on people. Craving, making it attractive. So if you're planning to start a habit, you want to make it attractive in such a way that you'll be able to just apply the habit. And then routine, how can you make it very easy for you? And then can the reward be very satisfying? So you can even go down, if you're thinking of financial independence, you can go as low as defining what is that financial independence number. What is that you want to achieve on a monthly basis? Do you want to achieve it through passive action? Do you want to achieve it actively? But what is that number? And what does that time frame look like? Because now that you're zooming in, you want financial independence, which is the bigger picture, but there is that number that you want to earn on a monthly basis. And then, so how do you break a habit? So how can you make the cue, or rather the trigger, invisible? And then how can you make it unattractive? The routine, how can you make it difficult? And the reward, how can you make it unsatisfying? I'll use a very simple example that Sam was using. So for example, myself, I am always, by the kama kuna biashara ya smoking, nitakusaidia. But maybe my end goal is to be healthy. My end goal is to cut weight. So if I'm trying to break that habit of, I wake up every morning and think I need chapo smoky kachumbari. How can I make it invisible? Don't go through those parts that are selling those things. Don't put yourself in a situation where you will be seeing it and salivating. You'll be triggered. Yes. And then how do I make it unattractive? Actually look at yourself. If you want to cut weight, go to the mirror and look at yourself. For example, Mimi, I need to be going to the mirror often and saying, by the way, wherever we are going with this weight, it's not working. And then how do I make it difficult? So how do I put myself in a position where I actually don't expose myself to these things? And if I'm exposing myself to it, it's a very expensive decision that will be weighing. So meaning, if it's, for example, I have lose money anywhere, I stop having lose money. Either I need to borrow some if I'm working with him, or I cannot eat, or I'm taking a loan. And if I'm taking a loan, sasa kichukua smoky loan. And then now making it unsatisfying, because it gets to a point where if you have to actually look for someone to give you those coins, Manze, you wouldn't be pressured to, you know. And those are the things that we've been capturing today. I hope I've not left anything out. And of course, when we started earlier on, we were just recapping on what happened last week. So on mindset, so we've done habit, and then last week we did mindset. And, you know, just some of the things people have shared is how do you change or how do you achieve, you know, an investor mindset is defining, having a why, defining your purpose. What is this you want to achieve? Sticking to a budget. You know, this is, you want to achieve X, you have X amount, and this is what you must spend, and this is what you're investing or saving. Start saving, you know, start saving, start investing, just start. And then, of course, we had a few people who are sharing, you know, past experiences and can actually trigger, you know, the change of mindset and what you desire for the future, as well as choice. I think the biggest or the greatest, you know, factor is you need to choose. You need to be at a point where it's not out of a windfall gain, but you actually chose
this
to
is what
be.
I
This
want.
is what you want.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I can see a few comments coming in.
Simeon is agreeing. Simeon is agreeing that it's the Simeon that you're talking about.
Yeah, oh, it's Simeon. Yeah. Thank you so much, Simeon. I hope you have very many other people from Taita who are watching.
Please
but
invite
it's good.
them.
Please invite them. I can see Devlin. Great session. Thank you so much, Devlin. I hope I'm saying it right. Andrew T2, thanks guys for the session. Thank you so much. Hey, I can see you. I can. We've also shared the council, the FIRE Council for last week. I can think you can click on the link and just watch what we did last week. We've also shared a council financial independence number. So of course, as we've said, yes. There's a time where Leonard was talking about, you know, the financial independence number and how to define it. There's also a link there to just help you, you know.
Okay. So please join the group. We can send the link to the Telegram group again, so that you can be able to, every other link that we've shared here or resource, we'll be able to share it in the group as well.
Yes.
Today we were able to teach you guys, but we hope from as the sessions go by, we'll be able to learn more from you as well, because what council is about is now debate and dialogue, and then I hope that the thing we've learned today about habit will be able to accelerate your journey to financial independence.
Yes.
That was my contribution, our contribution to the council today, and we hope that will help you. But in the next session, we hope to learn from you guys, the people saving or investing 40%, 42%, 70%, and we hope to learn a lot from you. And I hope you've joined the group. We'll have quite a number of questions on how you were able to get there and achieve that,
and how
long did it take you? Is it a matter of time? Do we need to be stressed that we need to be doing that right now? We hope you did learn something, and we actually have learned something from you guys on how to accelerate. Daud mentioned about circumstance can be the thing, or also thinking about the future, and also being able to see that some of us are quite ahead on this journey, and that we have something to learn from somebody in this council. And I'm glad that this council has those members that we can do that with. So I think coming to a conclusion,
there's still a comment?
you can
I can see Daud saying it was great time.
Thank you so much, Daud. Thank you so much.
I can see Clinton Corey. Thanks for the session. Learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who was able to join. Very informative, Sam. The tips on habit breaking is brilliant. Thank you so much, Hannah. I think let's take this opportunity to actually accelerate our own financial independence journey. Let's learn from each other. I think what challenge I would give to each of us is next time, bring someone on board. Let us know who you've invited or who has invited
and thank you for those who've invited people. Amo, Ian, who else? Timmy invited? Brian invited somebody, so we have quite a number of few new members. Karibuni sana. We hope now you next time will invite
someone.
So you've learned something from us today. We want to learn something from you. We've known that people save quite a lot.
Yes.
How?
Yeah. And I think maybe as we prepare for next session will also be on Sunday. Please let us know what you learned today. Yani tukifungua tupate tu comments. What you learned today, and maybe even what are you battling with when it comes to habits and mindset? What is that thing that you are looking for a solution for, and you're yet to find it? And I think thank you so much, Anne. I hope we'll have you next time, as well as
I think she's mentioning something.
Yeah, Lillian and Andrew, because now you've shared where you are with this journey.
And something we can look look up
Anne
to.
is saying, thank you very much. Very informative. Always open to learn and to learning and sharing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Anne.
We hope to
I
learn
can
a lot
see her
from
more.
you.
Thank you very much. This was very informative. Can we please request for more time?
Yeah, we can be able to see. We can suggest in the group. Please join the group.
Yes.
Let's suggest on how those people who are already there can teach us, because I am pretty sure I am not the only one who wants to learn how to get to 70, how to get to 40, and the people who are already at 10, how do you get to 30? How do you get to 20? So let's bring this conversation and start asking ourselves and learn from each other as well. Yeah, so thank you so much. Please join the group. The link has been sent quite a number of times. We hope you've joined. The people have joined. I think I can mention the people who have already joined, because I can be able to see from here.
I can see even Caroline Adada. Caroline Adada is one of our
we have quite a number of people.
In the diaspora. Thank you so much, Caroline. I can see Anne, Kefa, Mimi, The Grind, Grace Wakesho is also our investor. Wen's Products, Hammer, Winfred, Doreen, Caroline Odada, Lillian. Thank you so much. Please keep joining. Also, feel free to share the link with your friends for those who want to, be part of this great team. I think we'll be able to share everything that we've done. This is our third week. So we'll be able to share the content and where how we arrived here, just being able to define the purpose of accelerating each one of us, our financial independence journey. So we'll be able to share all the sessions. And of course, everything is there on our YouTube channel at TSAVO.ke. Once again, thank you so much for everyone who has been able to attend. All our subscribers, invite us.
We've hit 1,000. I hope tumeongezeka since I can only see 1,000 here yet. Or 110. So 1,010.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope this is just our third session, and from the growth that you're going, I think we will get really far and actually impact each other and impact the world out there and help them get this investor mindset that actually is needed by them. So thank you for joining us on this journey, and we hope to go further and impact more lives with this. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Share all your questions if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share more on the group. And I think that's it. Tafadhali fikeni nyumbani. It's almost curfew.
Go home. Have a great week ahead. I hope this might be a good start to your week. Let's find ways to make it a better start to the week.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Awesome.